Best new stuff for accountants, Q2. Ooh. Accounting misspelled. It's free accounting software. I'm not concerned. Accounting is free, open source, and online accounting software for small businesses and freelancers. What I don't understand, you still pay for it, 36 per month, unless you just want the wee baby plan. But still, 36 bucks a month for like unlimited users and all that. Looks like it's got the regular like stuff you'd expect from an accounting ledger. Invoicing, client portal. This is version 3. Does our world need like a solid open source free accounting system? Right now, it might actually need that. Kind of like what Google Sheets was to Microsoft Word. There's a lot of upward force on all of these apps that we use. Maybe we need something simple that's bringing it back down, you know? Better Sheets, kind of like Netflix for Google Sheets. Okay, it's a bunch of like video content to get better at Google Sheets. Google Sheets is one of those things with a real high skill ceiling. It's got more automation chops than Excel does. So like learning basic scripting and more of the kind of power usery features, I think is the idea here. Glide. This is my favorite no-code mobile app builder. So in like 10 minutes, you can build a native mobile app that's totally customized from scratch. It's like so much easier than you're thinking it is right now. Like it's amazing. The big news here is they launched their integration with Airtable. So your data's gotta live somewhere. Before it integrated with Google Sheets and Excel, now it also integrates with Airtable. All you do, connect Glide to that base, build a sweet little app on top of it. Okay, this was the very most popular thing in my newsletter for the full last quarter. And it's phenomenal content marketing. It's called Roast My Finance Stack. So REBANK, what do they even do? Payments. Track money across all your banks with one login. Okay, pay and get paid. But they built a campaign around this Roast My Finance Stack where anybody can complete like this form, share some information with them, and they're gonna get a personalized response from a finance pro who roasts their finance stack. So you'll get something helpful out of it. Recommendations on different apps to use, maybe where there's inefficiencies. Obviously, REBANK is hoping you convert to REBANK at some point, but that's not the idea. The idea is they're just gonna give people value. And you know where I would absolutely love to see this? In accounting firms, especially tax firms. How many tax clients do you have with just awful finance stacks? Maybe they're cutting 100 paper checks every month. Maybe they're still doing everything on desktop. You do a marketing campaign like this, roast my accounting stack, roast my finance stack, whatever it is. You build out an intake process where you capture all that info and you can send them tailored recommendations for how to improve it. And then you know who they're gonna ask to improve it? You! AutomationTown. I made a podcast. I know. Comes out every week. Talk about automation stuff with a buddy of mine. He runs a firm too, but it's not really accountant-y. It's more just like general automation stuff. It's okay. The launch of SCRIBE Pages. If you watch my stuff on this channel, you know I love me some SCRIBE. SCRIBE is like the Chrome extension that lets you like click around and really quickly make a guide for anything. So you capture the steps and the output is this like really nice looking step-by-step guide to do the thing. If you haven't seen this yet, scribehow.com, really cool. Well, the news here is they launched Pages. And Pages are kind of like a collection of scribes. So you can build out a page in like a familiar kind of knowledge basey format, but then within that page, you embed the scribes that you make. So you can put those scribes in context. So new hire onboarding, good example. There's probably lots of fiddly little specific things that need to be done there, but you're not gonna make a scribe that's like 200 steps for that whole thing. Instead, you got a bunch of little bite-sized scribes, and then you use a scribe page to put all those individual scribes in context. For example, let's say you got a whole bunch of clients that use Gusto. You can do a whole bunch of different things in Gusto. You could build scribes for all those different things to help your clients. How do you organize all those scribes in context? Maybe you have a Gusto page. Maybe you have a QBO page. That's the idea behind Pages, giving you a better way to organize the scribes that you make. Okay, buckle up. Time to NIXSHEETS Accounting Simplified. You interested, right? Tell me more. You can join a waitlist. Already feels exclusive. Today's fintech is great at automating one thing at a time. One accounting solution for each accounting workflow. But nothing exists to tie it all together. Workflow between systems are still bridged with spreadsheets. Today's accounting is fractured. Till now. NIXSHEETS is a workflow and automation platform for your accounting teams. Automate the gaps. Reduce data integrity super fast, wear cape, less manual work, save money and headaches, 60 to 80%. A universal subledger automates both revenue and expense recognition. I'm gonna double down on that. Universal subledger. If you're wondering, what did I just watch? I don't know. It's almost like accounting software, simplified, but does a lot of hard stuff, like consolidations. I think companies in this space go through this arc. We just saw it with Digits. That initial window of time is, hey, we got a little bit of money. Let's make a cool landing page and collect some email addresses. The next 4 to 6 years are trying a bunch of different things and realizing that in most cases, accountants don't actually want those things. Most of them go away. Sometimes you get to something interesting. like digits. That was like a super fancy landing page for years, but they've actually got to something useful now. But at the end of the day, yes, we need more smart people investing in our space, thinking about it, asking hard questions. That is a net win. Okay, so this beauty does what it says on the tin. It's a margin calculator. Why do you need a calculator to calculate margin? I don't know, but I think why this was popular in my newsletter is I said it's a great reminder of all of the things that you know that normies don't know. That bar for making something useful for other people is probably a lot lower than you think it is. So here you go, calculate margins. Like I'm not sure why there's so many fields here. AIRBANK, all-in-one financial management for your business. Pay your bills, track your cash flow in real time, close your books even faster. It's like a simplified accounting system. What I don't totally understand is it integrates to QBO and Xero. So it's like a simplified layer on top of your accounting system. And honestly, that's not the worst idea I've ever heard. QBO and Xero for most clients that's just confusing. If you give them a simplified dashboard that lets them do a few things on top of that without having to get into the whole thing, maybe that makes sense. Magical. Make tasks disappear like magic by teleporting data between your tabs. So here's the thing, it's a Chrome extension. It can see the stuff that's in your different tabs, and it makes it easier to pull the data that's in that one tab over to another tab. So you see these examples where it's like this data field and this other thing, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Sheets, whatever. You can do a / and pull that thing in from that other tab. Interesting. You ever wonder how they come up with this? This thing's like a month old. Okay, so / and then it grabs the properties from like different tabs you currently have open. That's pretty neat. It's still kind of like a worst case scenario, like there isn't an automated way to integrate those things, but we spend a lot of time moving stuff between tabs. Okay, so I run a newsletter. Every week, I highlight cool new stuff. Some of it's accounting stuff, some of it's just stuff that's helpful for accountants. What was the most popular thing? Second most popular thing. In the last quarter, drum roll please. A signature generator. It does exactly what you think it would do. You put the stuff in, you create it, and copy paste, and that's it. Remote HQ. I featured the original version of this way back in the day, but I think this is super cool. Basically makes any app in your browser like multiplayer. So think about having to show somebody something in QuickBooks. You could do a screen share, but that's single player. You could have them show what they're doing, but that's hell, because you're not gonna do it right. This is like a combination of both those things. You can see people's confused little cursors moving around. Anybody can click on stuff. And in a world where we're spending like 80% of our time trying to virtually show people how to do things on a computer, this could be super handy. Not a replacement for building out like video explainers like a library, but if you have to do something live, walk somebody through something live is a really cool way to do it. FLOWACE. FLOWACE? I don't know. This sucker will automatically track your time. Not that that's something you would do. Basically, the way this works, you install it on your machine and it tracks all the apps that you're using, tabs in Chrome, different programs. It builds out these entries automatically. It's not gonna have all the granular detail you may need, but then at least after the fact, you can go back and see that history, optionally put that stuff in if you need to, and that's what it does. What this is actually gonna look like is email from about 9 to 4:30, but now from 4:30 to 6, you'll remember what you were doing. The LG DUALUP monitor, it's out. So I shared this when they were first talking about it. You can actually go out and buy it right now, and it's cheaper than people thought it would be. So this is two 1440p monitors stacked one on top of the other, but it's like a single continuous display. It's got USB-C ports, like power pass-through, all for $700. Like that's a pretty good deal if you compare it to two 1440p displays with USB-C and all that. Routine, take back control of your time. Unify calendars, centralize work, etc. So this is like task management, but out of a calendar. And if you've experimented with time blocking out your calendar to tackle specific tasks, this makes sense. I don't know, the idea of like all of my task management living inside of a calendar, that's a lot to process, but that's the whole function of this app. It's interesting. Genie, financial planning and growth platform for founders. I'll tell you why this one was interesting. This one connects to Xero, QuickBooks, and Google Sheets. So the idea is you connect it to your accounting file and it does this cash modeling for you. It's always kind of been the holy grail, right? Like you connect the app to the accounting file and then it just poof, gives you something useful. I don't know if Genie does, but interestingly, they actually pair this whole modeling with live sessions where they'll actually like sit down and discuss the model with you. I don't see anything like accountant facing if you work with a whole bunch of clients, but Xero and QBO support straight out of the gate. That's it for Q2. Those are the things that people most clicked on in my newsletter. How many of your little clickies were on those? Leading question. If you're not on the newsletter yet, sign up at this link. This this link right there. Yeah.